Monday with me trying to do this.
Well, we'll get there.
Yeah. Hi, Christine.
Hello.
Hi.
So, shall we start?
Yeah.
All right. First item on the agenda. We open the meeting at what?
6:06.
6:06. I'm bad. I don't have the agenda in front of me, so I don't know what's first.
With me trying. I only, do you guys see a lot of people or just one person?
It depends what setting you have, I think.
Ooh, okay. Ooh. I think I see you and I see Elena, and it just flips around and I only have one person on the screen.
You can, if you go up to your top right corner, there's different views you can select. So there's a speaker view, and there's a view that it creates almost like a Brady Bunch like effect where you can see everybody in their square.
Is it little, one is a line, one is a blue rectangle, and one is a like big white rectangle?
Yeah, there's like a gallery view and then there's a speaker view. It's like a little grid. So if you click the little grid, it goes to 7.
A little thread? Is that the one? Talking.
It's just a little grid at the top, but it's okay. We should just
as long as we can hear each other.
Yes.
That would be good. All right. Okay. So we had 2 applications from last meeting that we never really resolved, right?
I guess.
Let's proceed on them.
Yeah. So I don't know which ones I don't know the numbers.
Okay, so 33 Harrington Street, Tom's application is.
Did your audio just cut out?
No. I hear
you. Oh.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, okay, fine. So Tom and Dwight, you talked and tried to sort of iron out what was the best thing to do with those trees?
Yes, there are 4 key trees there along Henry W. Du Bois, and all 4 are viable, but alterations need to be made for public safety and safety with respect to Tom's house. Mm-hmm. So what I recommended to him was a very thorough pruning of the honey locust on the corner, a rehabilitation of the box elder, including removal of a large limb erupting low off the tree trunk and proceeding toward his roof. That's an unnecessary limb at this point. And the rest of the tree, if cleaned up, won't be a threat to him. The next is a 3-way Norway maple, just a little further south, or west rather. And there's one leader, one trunk that leans toward his house and should be removed. The other 2 are viable, and with some pruning and a little bit of size reduction, that tree's an asset. The 4th is a silver maple, a large maple. And again, it's just managing the crown, so it's not a threat to Tom's house, the wires, the roadway. And so there's really very little here to remove. A large limb off the box elder. What I'm saying is there's very little, in my opinion, that requires a permit. And that would be whatever parts of the Norway maple we remove, or he chooses to remove. You know, the limb on the box elder is just an ordinary limb. You prune the limb, preserve the box elder. Why is a permit required?
Oh, well, it's an interesting question. And okay, so I try to get this straight from what you had said. And it's also interesting if we are looking at the code, and hopefully it'll change. What about the one leader? the one where you have the three-way trunk.
Yeah,
and
it's
you want to
because
take
there are
one down
three
to the
trunks
ground.
right from the ground, 3 trunks.
Right.
And one or possibly 2 of them could be removed. That would require the permit. There's no
Okay,
question.
okay, so that's interesting, and it's a good example of what we're trying to do with the permit process. And if you all think it's a reasonable way to go.
Yeah, I do.
So with this permit though, we only just need to discuss the leader that might be removed from the Norway maple.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, well, it's the homeowner's option here. If he chooses to have 1 or 2 of the 3 removed.
Okay.
So maybe Tom wants to add his 2 cents.
Okay, Tom.
It really makes no huge difference to us. So if New Paltz, the town, values 2 over 1, then we can go that way.
Okay. So we do need to move. We do need to, I guess, approve this application, and I would make a motion to do that, to remove
Are you
1 or 2 liters.
the application as submitted, or are you just approving the pruning of those trees other than the Norway maple, which could potentially be removed?
Please remember
no,
that
the
the
Norway maple
application
wouldn't be
as
removed.
presented asked for removal of many larger parts of those trees.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. So like, I don't know if you want to approve the application as he submitted it, or you're approving your decision. So what you're deciding is different from how he applied. So just, you have to.
The only difference is the Norway maple.
Yeah.
I said prune crown, prune branches, prune crown for all the other 3 trees. So it's really just the differences. And we had asked for the other one to be cut to 10 feet. So, it's just that Norway maple.
Okay, so you would make a motion then to approve the removal of 1 of the trunks on the Norway maple?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Depending on who you're asking.
Basically, you can pretty much do what you want. We just have to get this permit signed.
Okay.
And approved. So do we think that it's fine the way it's written and just approve this?
No, because it's as written, it's cut to 10 feet. So.
Yeah, so you are going to move to approve the removal of 1 of the trunks of the Norway maple. He doesn't need a permit, is what you were saying, to prune all
the other things.
So you're just going to make the motion to approve the removal of that one, because that's what the application.
Okay. I make the motion to approve the removal of the leader of the Norway maple.
2 seconds?
I do.
Okay, thank you.
do.
And then everyone's an aye on that one?
Yeah.
I
Mark, thank you. Okay.
Hi, Mark.
Thank you, Tom, for
And that'll
getting through all of this.
Okay, that'll be put in the mail, or?
Yeah, I can actually, I'll just like scan it once I've had the
Email it.
pictures on it, and I'll just email it to you.
Very good. Thank you all.
Yeah, no problem.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so the next one, Christine, is the one on 58 North Chestnut.
Shelley and I went to talk to the applicant, and we agreed, I think in the meeting, the emergency meeting, that tree that she wanted to take down should indeed be taken down. We were going to talk to her about planting 1 or perhaps 2 other trees, and we did, and she agreed, and that she would plant at least 1 tree, and with some sort of gently nudging, I think we could get her to plant another one, because she's in the community, and there's that spot.
It sounded to me like she was pretty okay with planting 2 trees. So,
Yeah.
and we're hoping we did plant the seed of possibly planting chestnuts, and she liked the idea since it's
She did
chestnut.
like the idea of the horse chestnut, so, you know. But she will plant another tree, and it will be with the requisite, you know, size. And we gave her also the list for other trees in for the second tree, hopefully. So.
Not going to remove the one she requested to remove, or she is?
Oh, she is.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys going to
Yes.
approve that removal?
So
or?
we are going to. So I make a motion to approve that application with the addition that she plant 1 and possibly 2 other trees on that site within a year.
Within
Second.
Yeah.
Okay. Mark seconds. Is it, and that's an aye from everyone?
Aye.
Aye.
Christine, I think you should use the word contingent upon planting addition, you know, 1 or 2
Okay.
trees, not just
Contingent.
contingent. So the permit is granted contingent upon. If you fail to plant another tree, then
We're going to come
permit
after
is-
you.
I put,
problematic.
I put that in the minute.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and then John's application for 10 Worth Avenue is next.
Yeah, I took a look at that tree. It looked, those 2 trees, they look pretty much woven into many other trees. What did you all think? Anybody else get to look at the trees?
Yeah, I didn't. I made notes, but.
I could comment on those trees. There are 2 wild cherries that are more or less married together
Mhm.
at the street, at the entrance of his drive. One is dominant, one is subordinate. The subordinate one is really in poor health and reaches out over the road into the wires. That part should be removed. It allows more space for the dominant one, which can be still seen as an asset to the village. There's a second tree on his property, and it's not on the road. It's between the sidewalk and the front of his house. It's a tall, narrow wild cherry next to a very large maple. The maple is a really, really bonus sugar maple. The wild cherry is just kind of creeping along. It's long-term, they're problematic. It doesn't have much of a crown. Cutting that out allows for a flowering tree, an ornamental tree just in front of it to do much better. So there's nothing really to object to removing those 2 parts of one tree and the other wild cherry. Anybody else see it and have an opinion?
I saw it, and I just thought that they should go because they were too much. They were just entwined in everything else, and one of them was getting into the wires pretty badly.
Yeah, I
Anybody
remember.
else see it?
Yep.
So what do we think? Now, you know what? I don't know how that application is written. Does it say to take 2 trees out? And is that what you were?
John is here. You can ask him.
Oh, okay.
Hi there.
Hi.
The one that's closest to my house, we definitely want to take it out. It has already shed some limbs that have kind of gone where they shouldn't have gone. And I've replaced a window because of that. So it's not in good shape. That one has to go. The other one, you know, I'd really like to trim it and save as much of it as we can, but I'll defer to Bain's expertise on that. But there's also right next to that is a tree that has wild bees in it, which, you know, we love, and so we want to protect them as much as we can. And that sugar maple is just gorgeous. I love it. So I'd like to get the one that's dying and is really close to my house done first, and then to trim up the second, remove the branches that are intertwined with the wires before Central Hudson comes out and starts hacking away at it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
mutilating it.
Pretty much.
Yep.
They did that to another tree and it finally died, and so
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at with it. Try to save as many as we can and keep them going and healthy.
So what does everyone think?
That sounds fine with me.
I agree. Motion to approve this application?
I move,
That's written.
or whoever.
Christine,
Yes,
you're approving it as written, or was there a change?
I think as written, because that's what John had just said, so good. All right,
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, I think that's it.
wait, one more thing. Don't we have to approve the e-signatures?
Yes, so we have to approve, I forgot to, we have to approve the minutes from last time. And then Michelle said she'd be willing to explain what the deal is with the code stuff, if you want to talk about that.
And
Is she around?
one
Yeah.
additional item I just want to bring up. I can bring it up at the end. It just popped up today, so.
Yeah, sure. So Christine, just make a motion to approve the minutes from, what day was that? July.
So I make a motion to approve the minutes from July 2nd.
I second that motion.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Mark, do you want to share what you're going to share before Michelle talks about the code change?
Sure, I'll try to make it as brief as possible. And I admit that I don't have all the information yet. I was approached by a resident who had concerns about the Empire State Trail. She's on Henry D, where they're going to be working on that, and I guess expanding the road in those areas. So she had some shade trees that she was feeling very concerned about. She's an acquaintance of mine, so she contacted me. I was going to offer to go take a look. I told her to just give me a call and I would maybe come and take a look and to see. I have not seen the plans for the Empire State Trail, so I don't know where, like how many trees they're cutting and how far back they're going to go. And I don't even know if it's under our purvey at all as the Shade Tree Commission. I sort of gather that it is trumps our abilities to regulate here. But I mean, I hear the residents' complaint. I mean, she's got a preemptive concern that they're going to cut some mature shade trees from the front of her house.
Where is it supposed to run exactly?
It's, I believe that Henry D is getting widened in some
I've
place.
seen the surveyors.
Yeah. But I haven't seen a plan, so I don't
Is
honestly
there a
know.
address? Do you have her address by any chance?
I don't know her address. She's like I said, I asked her to follow up. I mean, I know her, but I just don't know exactly where she lives.
Yeah.
There's so many houses with big shade trees along Henry D. I mean, basically everything. So, but I don't even know if it's something that Shade Tree wants to look at all and say, hey, if we can save some of these trees, we should try. Or, I mean, it's kind of like a bike trail is an awesome thing, and it's a great thing, I think, for the community. But so are shade trees. So, and I also know that Henry D isn't all village. Some of it's town, right? There's some sections of it. That's why it's got the.
Yeah.
Mark, I'd also argue that we need the trees there because of flooding. That's where, all the runoff comes down. So I think that's a good thing to put forward to be mindful of not saving as many trees as possible.
So I guess she said she was going to talk to Neil. I was hoping that Neil would be at the meeting, but she said she's going to talk to Neil about it. And maybe he actually has a little bit more info on what the trail, like what the exact plan looks like. I imagine he's seen the plan. I'll try to follow up with Neil too and just see what that conversation yielded.
Yeah, I actually have some contact info for Alpha Planning, and I think they've had some stuff to do with the trail, so they might. I could always send it to you.
Okay, yeah. If you want to send that to me, I'll try to reach out. But I told the resident I didn't really promise anything because, like I said, I admit that I just don't know very much about it, and I haven't seen her site, so I don't even know. I mean, these could be trees that are tucked against her house and 20 feet from the road, and she's just concerned, or they could be trees that are going to get cut. And I did say that, like, you know, the nature of a trail and a sidewalk is it's hard to like zigzag it around trees. You know, it's a thing that when I went to the relief concerts last summer, it was a big issue. A lot of municipalities deal with it because they, you know, there was conversation about taking a sidewalk and running around a tree, and how it's not a great option. Adds a lot of unnecessary cost, and you're better off just saying, look, we're going to plant a new tree when we're done, because you wind up damaging the roots so severely that you wind up creating a hazard. And all right, I think that kind of, I don't really have a specific action plan, but I just wanted to bring it up and see what people's thoughts were. Thank you.
Good, thanks. So the code changes. Hi, Michelle.
Hi, sorry.
So there were some questions about the code changes, so maybe we can all talk about them.
Yeah, so I think I think the board just needs it to be very black and white. So if you could have the entirety of the code as it is now without any crossouts or red or anything, and then under that the exact phrasing of how the code should change, and then just under that the reason why. So you kind of have some of that already there, but just having, and if you could put it in the context of the code, this way we can look at it without having to like click back to the code, and it's all there in a document.
So you want the code and then the changes underneath the actual paragraph instead of what I did, which was take parts of the paragraph. And I did say, all right, then just reformat.
Yeah, I think it's, I think for you guys, it's clearer to you because you're used to working with the code more often. And so it's like looking at it, once, removed, and it's kind of like easier for us to see the whole code as its entire code as it is now, with right under that, the exact changes. So just without any. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll do what I sent you and then just reformat it in that way.
Okay, we have another meeting Wednesday, so I don't know. I know life is tough, so if you can't get it then, but if you do, I'll put it on the agenda, and if you can get it to me by then, great. And if not, don't worry, I'll just push it to the next one.
Okay.
Michelle?
Yeah.
If you understand the intent of changing the code, it will go better for you and for the board. The problem is it says you need a permit to cut. What does cut mean?
Yes, no, I'm in favor of your changes.
Okay.
It's just that as a whole, when we sit down as a board to look at it, it's a lot easier for us to have the original code in its entirety, just for context for everyone else. I agree. The reasonings did feel clear, and I do feel like I'm in favor of all the changes. They make sense.
There were very, very few changes. One was grammatical, and then the other is just about the word cut. I mean, that's really it.
Yeah.
But we'll go through it the way you wish it to be, and then I hope it will be clear.
Great.
It can keep village residents from doing maintenance on their trees, ordinary maintenance, which actually later in the code it calls for. pruning dead wood, elevating over the sidewalk, this kind of thing. And if people feel they need a permit to make any cut at all, it's discouraging.
Yeah.
Whereas cutting to maintain, to prune, to clean, to enhance shouldn't require a permit, only to remove or disfigure.
Right.
So that's the gist of it.
Yeah, I'm always out there cutting. I have dwarf weeping cherries, so they always need a little maintenance. Like,
Okay, well, without a permit, you could
Yeah.
be fine.
I know. So, complete agreement with all that. And it's funny, we're always noticing these little quirky things in the code that we're like, how did this get in here? This seems so bizarre, but it's just, it is what it is. So just the process to change it is what it is too. So thank you for
Okay.
going back into that and
Mhm.
putting some more of those details in.
Okay. So anything else going on for this meeting?
Yeah, if not, you can just make a motion to close.
Motion to adjourn,
I'll second.
Like that.
6:32.
Okay, that's
Finish?
it. Thank you so much.
Yay.
Everybody.
Okay.
Thank you. See ya. Next time.